Picture this, a sleepy Texas town where front doors stay unlocked, neighbors wave from porches, and crime is something that happens elsewhere. But on a cold December morning in 2010, that illusion shattered. 13-year-old Hailey Dunn, cheerleader, saxophone player, a girl who lit up every room, vanished into thin air. For years, her case gathered dust in filing cabinets, even as whispers named a killer hiding in plain sight. The evidence piled up, failed lie detector tests, a stepfather's obsession with murder, a mother who threw parties while her daughter's body lay undiscovered. Yet it would take a decade, a father's relentless fight, and a twist of fate to finally unmask the truth. This is the story of how justice sleeps until someone refuses to let it. Asterisk. While search teams combed through fields and volunteers plastered missing posters across town, Hailey's stepfather, Sean Adkins, was unraveling. Detectives sat him down. Once, twice, 3 times. Strapping him to a polygraph, watching as the machine's jagged lines betrayed his lies. He failed. Twice. Then, during the 3rd interrogation, he simply stood up and walked out, as if the truth were a door he could shut behind him. But his phone records told a different story, one that didn't match his alibi. While he claimed to be at his mother's house, cell towers placed him somewhere far more sinister, near the desolate stretch of land where, years later, Hailey's remains would be found. And then, the darkest revelation of all. Buried in the depths of Sean's hard drive, investigators uncovered a library of horrors, over 100,000 images of exploited children. But perhaps most disturbing? The system's failure. No arrests. No consequences. Just a father's desperate pleas for justice, drowned out by bureaucratic silence, while the man who lived under the same roof as Hailey walked free. While an entire town mobilized to find Hailey, neighbors combing through fields, volunteers posting flyers on every telephone pole, the people closest to her were telling a very different story. Sean Adkins, Hailey's stepfather, sat across from detectives not once, not twice, but 3 times. Each session more telling than the last. The polygraph needles danced wildly as he answered questions about December 27th. The machine calling his bluff in ink. Failed. Twice. Then, when the pressure became too much during the 3rd interrogation, he simply stood up and walked out, leaving his unfinished lies hanging in the air like smoke. But technology doesn't lie. Cell tower records placed Sean miles away from where he claimed to be that day, tracing a path that would later intersect tragically with where Hailey's remains were found. Asterisk. What investigators uncovered next would turn their stomachs. Sean's personal writings revealed a disturbing fascination with the methods of serial killers, their patterns, their rituals. But the true horror came when they examined his digital devices. Over 100,000 images. Children. The sheer volume suggested obsession, compulsion. Yet in a twist that defied all logic and justice, Sean walked away without a single charge. No explanation. No accountability. Just a broken system failing Hailey one final, cruel time, while the man who slept under the same roof as her, who had access to her every movement, remained free to live his life as if nothing had happened. For 3 long years, Clint Dunn carried the unbearable weight of not knowing, waking up every morning to the same crushing question: where was his little girl? While the official investigation stalled, he became a ghost haunting the system, showing up at police stations with new leads, badgering reporters to keep the story alive, turning over every rock in a 100-mile radius. Then, on a windswept afternoon in March 2013, a hiker's discovery near Lake J.B. Thomas shattered the silence. 20 miles from the house where Hailey had last been seen, nestled in the scrub brush, lay what no parent should ever have to identify. Dental records removed all doubt: this was Hailey. The medical examiner's report would later reveal the brutal truth: death by blunt force trauma. But with no witnesses, no murder weapon, and no confession, the case file was stamped, cold, and shelved, another small-town tragedy collecting dust. Asterisk. But Clint refused to let his daughter become just another statistic. While the world moved on, he became a one-man task force, tracking down witnesses the police had overlooked, poring over maps to trace Sean's known movements, even confronting his ex-wife about that fateful December night. Then, in 2021, 8 years after Hailey's body was found, the dam finally broke. A combination of relentless pressure from Clint and a crucial piece of forensic evidence, so explosive prosecutors are still keeping it under wraps, gave authorities what they needed. On a quiet June morning, SWAT teams descended on Sean Adkins' residence. After a decade of evasion, the man Hailey had once whispered she was afraid of found himself staring down the barrel of justice, charged at last with her murder. Asterisk. After a decade of evasion, Sean Adkins now stares out from behind bulletproof glass in a West Texas courtroom, his future reduced to a binary outcome unique to this death penalty state. Execution chamber or life without parole. That $20 million bond isn't just a number. It's the system finally acknowledging what Hailey's father knew all along. Yet the staggering delay raises uncomfortable questions that echo through the Panhandle's wind. Why did it take 10 years to connect the dots between Sean's failed polygraphs, his morbid serial killer research, and those incriminating cell tower pings? What crucial evidence finally tipped the scales in 2021 DNA? A jailhouse confession? And what of Billy Dunn, Hailey's mother, who partied while her daughter was missing and initially defended the man now accused of her murder? The answers may only emerge when the trial begins, but one truth remains immutable. In small towns, monsters don't live under beds. They sit at dinner tables. Asterisk. Hailey Dunn should be 26 years old today. Maybe a college graduate. Maybe a mother herself. Instead, she exists in memory and mugshots, a casualty of the terrifying calculus that sometimes allows predators to walk free until the weight of evidence becomes too great to ignore. Her story isn't just about one failed investigation, but about every child who falls through the cracks while the system hesitates. The wheels of justice turn slowly, but Clint Dunn proved they can be made to turn. Asterisk.